Hi, everyone. I'm Brynn ODonell. This is my colleague, Kaitlin Donovan, and we are Social Impact Program Managers from the Filecoin Foundation and Filecoin Foundation from the Decentralized Web. We are, of course, here today at the Sustainable Blockchain Summit. And so a lot of the talks today and the talks tomorrow focus on environmental, climate, mostly carbon sustainability. But the concept of sustainability doesn't end there. When we think about the term ESG, which has also been referenced today, that denotes environmental, social, and governance responsibility. So entailing that a corporation is acting responsibly in all of those ways. We also look at the UN Sustainable Development Goals. And yes, they have an environmental aspect, but they also talk about ending world hunger, ending poverty, increasing access to educational opportunities, reducing discrimination against women and minority groups, etc. And so environmental sustainability and social responsibility really do go hand in hand. And that is the lens that we're going to talk to you all about today. So the main work of our social impact team is to build a digital decentralized library of humanity's most important information. We want to build and protect that digital commons because public information is information that should belong to all. So we want to make sure that no single entity owns it. It can't be compromised or abused. And this is really a community effort. So we partner with folks ranging from nonprofits, cultural institutions, developers, coders, educators, communicators, etc., because we can't build it alone. So let's talk a little bit about how we do that.
So we support both individuals and organizations, but primarily most of our funding goes to recipients who are either nonprofits or mission-driven organizations. And our work is guided by three main goals, which we call our ABCs. So A being accelerate the adoption of open source decentralized technologies. B, to be building a community of champions to support open and decentralized technologies. And C, to be communicating the values and benefits of open and source and decentralized technologies. Sorry, that's a mouthful. So how we do that, we on the social impact team, we split our time between two different entities. So there's Filecoin Foundation and Filecoin Foundation for the Decentralized Web. Going forward, I'm going to call it FF and FFDW, if you don't mind, to save some breath. So FF, it is a for-profit organization that focuses on championing specific protocols and technology, which are Filecoin, IPFS, libp2p. And so the main goal there is being to accelerate the growth of the ecosystem and facilitate community-driven governance on Filecoin. Meanwhile, FFDW supports all open source decentralized technologies and protocols. They're really seeking to empower the DWeb community through education and various projects. And so I mentioned this before, but the distinction being that Filecoin Foundation is for-profit, and then FFDW is a nonprofit, and it's a private operating foundation. So going into that a little bit, what that means is that I won't bore you with our tax classification status in the U.S., but we actively collaborate and engage with our community of awardees, which means that we're having regular communication cadence and looking to find ways to amplify our project partners' work through our networks, as well as help them solve technical problems. So the different ways we approach our funding, what we're looking to fund, I'm sure that's what everyone's here for. So in 2022, our funding portfolio consists of three high-level focus areas, which are research, education, and development. For research, we're looking to support the development of legal and regulatory frameworks to guide and assist the DWeb community. We're also seeking to support exploration. We want to find compelling new use cases for this technology. And then lastly, we want to conduct research to figure out how we can support the global community. A lot of the times you hear folks talk about building a better internet in Web3. Well, in order to do so, we actually need to incorporate the voices of the traditionally disenfranchised communities. And so we're looking to research use cases and speak with these communities to really understand what the gaps and needs are there. we have a project partner that's working with communities to build internet infrastructure and to actually engage and figure out these gaps. They're distributing a survey in 26 localized languages to identify the gaps and needs, and then overcome overcome this with the communities and figure out solutions. So yeah, that's a little bit about research.
The second area in which we work is development, and this is the portfolio that I am fortunate enough to lead, and it entails stewarding that creation of that digital decentralized library of humanity's most important information. It also entails trying to realize the potential benefits of decentralized ledgers and blockchain for social good initiatives. And so, of course, Filecoin is one of the main decentralized technologies we work with. And so when folks think about decentralized storage, such as Filecoin, the main benefit is, it's cheaper. It's more cost effective to store data on the web. But there are a myriad of other benefits that the blockchain and distributed ledgers have the potential to provide for social impact cases. So I'm going to walk you through those examples of the work that our project partners are doing and how it relates to some of those benefits. So the first benefit to mention is, of course, censorship mitigation. We know that data distributed geographically across the globe allows folks to avoid certain jurisdictional or geographic censorship restrictions. Another benefit that data distributed geographically lends itself to is resiliency, because we're avoiding that single point of failure. And so one of the ways that we see both of these two benefits in action is through our work supporting investigative journalism. So we have some project partners that are working to take primary source documents, primarily obtained through Freedom of Information Act requests, which in France is the Free Access to Administrative Documents law. And so they are taking those documents, putting them on the distributed web, so activists and journalists can access those regardless of where they are in the world, annotate and analyze those documents. Another benefit of distributed ledgers is transparency. We know that blockchains provide provable public ledgers, that data hasn't been tampered with or altered during storage or retrieval. And so one of the ways this is manifesting in our work is in our work to preserve and authenticate documentation of human rights injustices across the globe. And so our project partners work with community-based DWeb archival initiatives to do some of this work. To ground that in a concrete example for you that I think is really exciting, just a few weeks ago, one of our project partners submit an dossier of evidence that was hosted on the blockchain to the International Criminal Court that showcased documentation of war crimes on the front lines in Ukraine. And so that was the first ever dossier of evidence of its kind that leveraged blockchain for transparency, verification, authentication, and immutability. And immutability is the last, thank you, it's awesome that happened. Immutability is the last benefit that I'll mention. Again, data, it's really difficult to alter data that's stored on blockchain or distributed ledgers. And one of the ways we're seeing that happen in our work is through fighting link rot. A 2021 study by Harvard Law School and the New York Times looked at over 2 million URLs and found that about 25% of them are either completely broken or pointed to inaccurate sources. And this starts to be a huge issue when you think about it in the context of legal situations. When judges or lawyers are trying to access digital links to case citations or earlier precedents, and those links are broken or go to inaccurate sources, there can be widespread ramifications. So some of our project partners are working to combat link rot by empowering and equipping authors, lawyers, and scholars with the DWeb archival tools that they need to make sure that their content doesn't go anywhere. And that is just a few of the ways that our fantastic network of project partners is working in this area.
All right, we're almost through the focus areas. Lastly, we have education. So for education, we know that learning about decentralized technologies and trying to wrap your head around it can be difficult when you're new to the space, but it doesn't have to be. So we're looking to share resources and build learning on-ramps to teach folks about the values and benefits of decentralized technology, as well as, support their experience from start to finish. So what that means is we're both seeking to bring resources to policymakers and the general public. An example of a policy initiative would be we're working with a project partner to bring diverse tech talent to legislative offices. So we're placing computer scientists, engineers, developers into one-year fellowships as advisors. For public education, we're working with a university who signed on an amazing community of an amazing cohort of 6 different communities who are not conventionally the first to adopt this type of technology, and we're pairing them with experts to guide them along the way. And then they're going to build a learning resource to pay it forward and help other communities interested in dabbling in this technology. Another area for education, we're looking to help empower users and creators, specifically young developers and those looking to upskill, to help them contribute and adopt decentralized open source technology. Those are just a few of the things we're working on right now for education, but we're going to need more help with that.
We really do. So we'll take all 6 of you.
Yes.
Please come help us. We have a wide range of opportunities for folks to stay engaged with us and our work. The first is to follow us on Twitter at FFDWeb, where we post about the ongoing work of our community of project partners. The second opportunity is to become one of our project partners. And so we just closed our request for proposals for this past year, but we're going to be launching more in the future. And we want to hear from you about your ideas or your network, about all of their ideas. Again, we're here at the Sustainable Blockchain Summit, and there's been so much focus on refi and carbon credits, et cetera. And there are so many other ways that blockchain can be leveraged for sustainability initiatives. Whether it is supply chain transparency, like a food waste DAO, or storing ecological or water quality data in a way that's more publicly accessible. Like, the ideas are endless, and we want to hear them all.
I'll leave you with one last opportunity. It's our Explorer Awards program. It's a fast-paced, small-scale grants program for folks who are looking to learn, teach, or inspire others about the potential benefits and social impact of decentralized technology. The beauty of this is it's super light lift. It's really easy to apply, and there are no strings attached other than like a quick write-up, literally 1 paragraph saying how you used the funds and what you gained from the experience. And so some examples of that could be like a very intimate Web3 salon series dinner where you talk about different problems or projects that you're working on. Another one could be like an NFT exhibition or workshop, or like perhaps you just want a food and travel stipend so you can join your first hackathon. Those are all things we're interested in supporting. So if you have any questions about that, please come to us. The first round did close for applications, but we opened up another one because it's been so popular. So next round of applications, August 15th, get yours in. If you have any questions, please come talk to us. We're really excited to hear what you're building and working on, and just wanted to thank everyone for sticking around to hear our pitch.